Okay, Mr. Smith, would you state your name and DOC number for me, please, sir?
Adam Smith, 70741.
Okay. All right. And I've been assigned your case today, so I'm going to be asking the questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You are a first-class offender. You were sentenced to life in prison for the charge of first-degree rape. Back in 1970, you were sentenced. Is that information correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here are my questions. Okay, Mr. Smith. What was going on in your life at that time? I mean, what would make you do such a thing?
I was a little young, wild juvenile. I didn't actually commit the crime. Jefferson Parish has several records stating that the victims has testified that and give the statement that my older and bigger Smith accomplice was on the charge with me, had actually did that, and they had made a statement to the coroner and the district attorney in Jefferson Parish at that time that the bigger boy, Donald Smith, had raped them, not me. It was three of us together, sir. I was a wild young juvenile just out the juvenile home. You know,
So what did
I
you do?
was off all kind of stuff.
Just there or what?
Sir?
Did you witness the rape? Were you there?
Yes, sir, I was there.
Okay, and then how did this occur? And how did y'all come in contact with these two girls?
They were kidnapped from armed robbery. They robbed a place. I was there during the participation of the robbery.
Okay, so you did
They decided to take these people off the telephone.
Okay. Being there when a crime is committed is also like committing the crime yourself. Did you do
Yes,
anything?
sir. I know that's a conspiracy before, after the fact, or something, the way they say it.
Right. Did you try to stop the crime? Did you call any law?
No, sir.
All right. And you're 70 years old, correct?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been in prison on this charge?
At the time. 54 years.
Okay.
I guess October be 54. I've been off the street 54 years, January 28th.
Okay. And how old were you when this crime occurred?
15 years old. 15.
15 years old. And so how long have you been in Angola?
Times I went to Satellite in 76. I went to Phelps, we called it Quincy at that time. I had done almost 7 years when I went for there. Then I went to Court Order a couple of times, one time about 9 months, and around 1979. All the rest of the time I was here, sir.
Okay. You told me you had just got out of the juvenile. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. In New Orleans, called the Milder Boys Home at that time.
Okay. And how long did you stay in there?
4 months.
Okay. And why were you there?
Just being bad, not going to school, truancy, all this kind of stuff. So my aunt that was raising me at that time had me put in the juvenile things for not going to school.
Okay. I see you have a residence plan in Texas. Who are you going to live with down there, and where are you going to work?
I was going to do that when I get down there. If I got it approved, I had people, relatives down there in Texas were going to try to get me a job situation. But they had told me that this didn't get approved. That somebody was misinformed and give me the information back. They told me I couldn't go to Texas.
Okay, Warden, y'all get something back on compact with regard to Texas?
Yes, sir. I turned in there.
Okay, no, let the warden speak.
Hang on one second, Mr. Freeman. We're looking it up right quick.
Okay.
I didn't see anything and I'm getting looking right here and I don't have anything.
You know,
To the best of
don't
our
see it.
knowledge right now, looking at his record, looking in the computer, we do not.
Okay, thank you, sir. It should be in the computer, right? If it was filed, ladies? Okay. Okay, Mr. Smith, I don't know where things got turned around, but you compact the text that says, we showing that it's never been submitted. Where would you
All right.
stay and live around here if you got out?
Any one of the halfway houses for the facility. I go to Alexandria, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, any facility they have open. San Francisville. I
Okay.
heard several.
Just
Wow.
real hard
Doesn't
to
matter.
get,
I
sex
go
offender.
right there in one of them.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you have to take the sex offender classes? I saw you took 1 and 2. Did you
Yes,
take
sir.
them
I
all?
took all of them.
Okay, good, good. I just wanted to make sure.
All 4 phases of it, sir.
Okay, and you took anger management. You take any other classes while you were there?
I took the whole 100-hour program in
Okay.
2012.
I see you took victim awareness. You took anything else? Anger management?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
hey.
Took 2 phases of that. Got all my certificates right here.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is what really concerns me. You have 110 write-ups. Now, you've been there a long time, so, 54 years, 110 write-ups. But the bad part about it is if you got 2 in 2022, about a year and a half ago. You got 1 for a 19 self-mutilation. What were you doing? How were you hurting yourself?
I was trying to go to the hospital at the time, and the sick call man didn't want to let me go or something there, and I feel as though if I cut myself with the razor, I could get over there to the emergency room and see somebody.
Got it. And what
No, I
about,
went at it the wrong way, but
all right,
that's what
and
my
what
mind is.
about August 17th, and 22, you got arrested for a 3 and a 5, defiance and an aggravated disobedience. What was that about?
Trying to see what that was about. 22?
22, August 19th of 22.
All right. That's what it was. I was over there in A block, and they said they was coming around to paint or do something with the lights. My pressure got up high out there on the yard. We was out in the hot sun, and I asked to see the emergency team people, and they didn't do it. So they told me I had to stay out there in the hot sun. I told them I couldn't stay out there. I was having dizzy. My pressure was going up. I have a serious problem with high blood pressure. My heart and stuff be acting up when I get in severe heat like that. I wasn't used to being out on that yard. No, I don't even come outside on the yard. So they wouldn't call nobody for me at that time. And they wind up put me in route me up, put me in the administrative service there. I had to go to court for that.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Any of y'all have asked any questions? Right.
Let me ask you about the incident you say you weren't involved in, but you have 2 females and you have 3 males. And one of the females says that while somebody was raping somebody inside the car, a man and a woman, the 2 outside the car, one of them held her legs apart while the other raped her, and then they switched places. Now that's all 3 people doing a rape according to the 2 females. All 3 males doing rape according to the female. That didn't happen that way, huh?
No, sir. You probably got to get the archives of Jefferson Parish back there. Got them had the original statements. And a lawyer named Lionel Collins went to be a judge later on. Was trying to get me off on that. The other boy went to the juvenile home. This older girl was named Cynthia Kaiser, according to their records down there in Jefferson Parish, said she was the only one that was raped by the older, bigger boy. The other girl name was Lorraine Fagan, and they had her down as a virgin. Nobody was never raped this girl. And she had her statements in there also. They was trying to get us cut loose on. And it could be proven if somebody get down there to Jefferson Parish. That other girl was a virgin. Name was Lorraine Fagan. I never forget her name. She was 15. The one named Cynthia Kaiser said the bigger boy, was by record name was Donald Smith. Said that was I don't know about nobody holding anybody down.
You didn't know anything about that, huh?
No, sir.
And
As
so-
I'm,
So
as I
just,
know, that was never,
were you there? Were you there?
I was there, but not on this, where you got that stuff what you reading now. I was there when this actual crime took place.
You were present when the crime took place.
Yes, sir, but not that part there. The first time I'm hearing something like that. Somebody
And
was held down.
You're
Two
saying
girls were raped.
You're saying just one of the women was raped?
Yeah, one of the girls were raped. The older girl was named Cynthia Kaiser. That's down there in Jefferson Parish. That's in their records. Supposed to be in their archive.
But the other,
statements of hers were that this older, bigger boy raped her. The other two little ones didn't do anything. They see the victim statement. They had her back all in the courthouse and everything. That the bigger boy was bullying the two little ones and had them doing what they want them to stand by and do different things, giving them the orders. That's the kind of statements they had on them.
and so listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Listen. You're saying only one girl was raped. Is that what you're saying?
That's what they had on their records originally, sir.
Care what they got in the record. You tell me. How many girls were raped?
It was two girls. One was 15, one was 16.
How many girls were raped?
According to her statement, the one girl name was Cynthia. Said she was raped, sir.
Listen to me. You're not answering my question. You were there. You witnessed it. How many girls were raped?
Far as I know, one, Chief. Sir. One girl.
Far as you know, one. Well, you were there.
I was outside the car while the bigger boy, the oldest one, was in the car with this other girl. This one was sitting out here on the ground. Ain't nobody touched her. Nobody. Her name was Lorraine Fagan.
Did you ever get in the car with Lorraine?
The lead. When all us left, I got back in the car.
Okay, I don't have any other questions because they turned into arguments because they didn't what's the reports showing. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lee, you have any questions? Okay, so there's no questions. Okay, so now we will go to there's okay, that's the only person here is Mr. Rainbow. Okay, well, let me put in the record the comments for the record. The judge was Judge Sarkaria. She's no longer presiding, but the presiding judge is opposed. That is the new judge, Frank Zachariah. Okay, and he took Chris Cox's place.
Excuse me, that's just the opposite. Judge Zachariah was the
Cox took his place.
Judge Cox is the current judge.
Cox opposed. Okay, no comment from the district attorney, but Mr. Myers is here. Opposed is Sheriff Pinto. No one's here to speak on your behalf. And We'll get to your statement afterwards. Okay, Mr. Myers, what do you have to say?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Randy Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. So there was a petition for habeas corpus that was filed in this case, and opinions went to the Louisiana Supreme Court. And just scanning through that opinion, based on what Mr. Smith was saying, that he didn't commit this offense. One statement in this opinion talks about Mr. Smith admitted he had confessed to the crime. The district attorney allowed the defense counsel to see the entire file, and they concluded that the state had a very strong case against Mr. Smith, which resulted in his guilty plea to the 2 counts of aggravated rape. I spoke with one of the victims last week, and Ms. Kaiser, Cynthia Kaiser, Ms. Fagan is deceased. She remains very traumatized. She stated to the victim coordinator that I feel like the state should just do what they think is best. In my speaking with her, spoke with her at length and her husband at length about the case, and they agreed with my position that we are strongly opposed to his request for parole. Now, if we look at the facts as I see them in the reports, it's a little bit different than what Mr. Smith is contending. The record shows that he got out the car with another man, raped the now deceased victim outside the vehicle, while the other defendant assisted by holding her legs open, and then they swapped. Then Mr. Smith went in the vehicle and raped the lady in the back seat. She identified him, and identified Mr. Smith as the culprit. Now, how did this offense occur? Mr. Smith and 2 other guys stole a rifle somewhere. Then they stole a car. Then they took the stolen car and a couple of guns, and they saw these 2 young girls on a telephone, walked up with the guns, abducted them, took them in the car from Orleans Parish to Jefferson Parish, where they were raped, and then fortunately subsequently let go. So what has he been doing since he's been incarcerated? Well, he's had 110 disciplinary reports, 15 reports since 2016, 6 reports in 2021 and 2022. So clearly he is not learning how to deal with the prison system. Typically, after so many years incarcerated, their write-ups seem to, you may get a lot of them in the early years, but you don't get a whole lot in the later years. He continues to get plenty of disciplinary reports. Very concerning to me is 2021, he had a sex offense. 1981, he also had a sex offense. So he's had 2 sex offenses while he's been incarcerated. Progress report notes that he has a fair prison record, and his programming has been limited. The program that he has taken essentially is 100 hours. He took a cage of rage, anger management. He did have the sex offender treatment, which is good, and he obtained his GED. Very few programs dealing with rehabilitation and getting I guess some with rehabilitation, but to help him when if he would ever get out, to have an opportunity to earn a living. This was a violent crime committed by 3 guys against 2 young girls. My opinion is he needs to remain in prison for the entirety of his sentence. We're opposed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Okay, last but not least, Warren Falgood, do you have anything to say?
No, sir, Mr. Freeman, I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay, since it was my case, I'm gonna vote first. Mr. Smith, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I read it and all, and I saw how long you had been in, and you're taking your sex offender classes, I came here today to vote for you to get out. But then I learned you don't have a residence plan that's approved. It's hard to get an approved sex offender plan. Plus you just take no responsibility. You know, being there is enough. I mean, you took these girls with 2 rifles, you took something from them that could never be given back to them. As they were both very young ladies at the time. And I think you need a psych evaluation. You're cutting yourself and you're doing things of that nature. So Warden, if you could try to get him that psych evaluation, but my vote today is to deny with all the reasons stated.
I vote to deny. Same reasons, continued discipline problems, failure to admit your involvement and your attitude.
I concur with my colleagues, my votes to deny.
Okay, Mr. Smith, that is the vote today. The vote is to deny. We will be closing out at Louisiana State Police at 11:38. Thank you, Warden.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.